everyone, I'm JD from Willow Band Journals. Welcome back to my channel. I've got my art journal here. It's sort of now becoming an everyday, commonplace, catch-all journal, but a place where I want to document key thoughts or key memories, key stories in here, just all in one place. And today I am going to be documenting two thoughts or two insights that got me thinking. And I'm just going to decorate the page first. So on the left hand side page you can kind of see that it's a very thin page and there's writing coming through from the other side. So I just need to cover up that page, and I've got some music paper next to me, and I just want to trim down some music paper so that it can cover that page. And this ties in with the theme of what I'm going to be talking about today or journaling about. It says the artist's life, so that's perfect. That's going to be my title for this sort of page spread. And then I'm going to cut out some of the music paper so that kind of goes together, and I'm going to be looking for words that tie in with what I'm going to talk about. So stuff like, it says the artist's way and dreams and heart and things like that, and light. So I'll be doing that. And then over on the right hand side page I am just going to leave it blank because I've got quite a lot to write about actually. I probably could have used a bigger amount of space for writing, but as I go through and decorate and journal on this page, let me share two things that were speaking to me recently. So the first is a podcast called Musical Splaining, and the episode that I was listening to was about the musical American Idiot by Green Day. And one of the co-hosts, her name is Lindsay Ellis. Well, one of the previous co-hosts, her name is Lindsay Ellis, and she was just talking about how often a lot of people, and I think maybe especially millennials, but maybe everyone, go through a phase where they become disillusioned by life, where they're like, is this it? Like, they were sold this dream, the American dream of, like, you know, this is the way to live and this is what life is all about. And then they realize it's all just materialism and consumerism and capitalism, where if life is just about getting the biggest TV and then getting a better job to get the bigger house, eventually people realize, or some people realize, come to a realization that this isn't all it's cracked up to be, but there's no other option because this is just the culture we live in, you know, our Western culture, and with our capitalist culture. Not saying it's bad or anything, but just sometimes people can sort of wake up and be like, this isn't what I thought it would be. And so what happens is they can go down a different path, and they go searching because all of a sudden life feels meaningless to them. So they might search for a different way of approaching life. And Lindsay was just saying that's how often or sometimes people can go down the path of, for example, like fascism, is that what it's called? Like, they're disillusioned with life feels meaningless to them, they feel angry at the government, and they feel angry at the powers and the authority because they were sold a lie and set up to believe that it was like this and it's going to be wonderful, and then they realize no, it's not. And so they're angry and they're upset, or they're just really sad and feeling meaningless. And then they find, there's this group of people who they find meaning in rallying around this one issue or this one cause, and whatever it could be, like white supremacy or whatever it is, a conspiracy theory maybe, that go down that road, where they find this community and they're really passionate about something, you know, religion, whatever. They're a cult maybe even. You find, but these are extreme examples, by the way. It could just be you find something else, like, and I'll get to that. But like, if you're looking for an explanation of like, how did they go down this road and how did people get down there, it's because they've found a community. It's understandable. They've found a community that's passionate about something, and they find meaning, and they find purpose in their life. It's like, it's understandable. They're getting something out of this deal, and it's giving them direction in their life. And but sometimes people can go further down their journey and realize, that's not for them either. Like, that also isn't the path that they want to go down. And then they come back and they they come back to their lives, but they come back with fresh eyes and a new perspective, and they've discovered their own meaning now of how to live. And it's not this militant way of thinking, and it's not this consumerist way of thinking. Maybe they come back with some other way, whatever it is for each individual going on that journey. Anyway, and I kind of related to this because, yeah, I had a phase in my life where I did get disillusioned. I had just left uni, I got my first job, I'm working a 9 to 5, and I'm like, this is it, I made it. And then after living that way for a while, I was like, my goodness, is this it? This sucks. But the whole time, that's what I thought it was about. It was, you go to kinder, you go to primary school, you go to high school, and then you go to university, and then you get a job, and then you retire. And I thought, that's what life is about. And then all of a sudden I realized, this isn't all it's cracked up to be. Like, okay. And then I went on this, I was about 26, and I had a quarter life crisis, and everything felt meaningless. I started questioning everything. I got questioned, like, why do we do that? Why do we even go to kinder and primary school and high school? And why do we go to uni? And why do we get a job? Like, what's the point? Is it just to get money so you can get a house and just to do this? And I just was like, what is the point? Why? Everything just felt so meaningless, and I was just questioning everything, and it felt very shaky. It felt like I was getting turned upside down and inside out, and it didn't feel good. And then, yeah, what helped me, like, I didn't go down some weird journey into, I don't know, a cult or something. What happened for me is, though, I went sort of the philosophical way of finding my way back to my life and finding purpose again. So it was a video that really helped me. Like, lots of things helped, but it was a video by Alan Watts, a philosopher. And in this video, it was just talking about my journey. It was like, oh my gosh, this is me. It was about music and life. I think the video is called Music and Life. And like, it literally changed my direction, you guys. This is my version of finding a group or a thing that helped me and returning back to my life with meaning. And it was this idea that, yeah, you go through life, you go to kinder, then you go to primary school, then you go to high school, and then you always feel like you're chasing this carrot, and then you get this job. This is what the video describes. And then you're climbing the ladder, and then finally you make it to the top of the ladder, and then you get the carrot, and you realize the carrot sucks. This is terrible. Or either that, or that you never ever get the carrot, or whatever. Or you do get the carrot, but you realize this is not all it's cracked up to be. And that was me. I made it sort of to the carrot, and I'm like, this sucks. This is meaningless. And he was just saying, the point of music isn't to get to the end of the song. It's not to rush through it and play fast forward and get to the end of the song. It's to enjoy every bit of that song and be in the moment and sing and dance to it and listen and savor it and enjoy it. But how we approach life is often, it's all about getting to the end. And that was me. It's about getting to this end goal. It's getting to this place. It's about going to primary school so you can get to high school, so that you can get the university, so that you get the job, and then get the life you want. And then it's all about the end. And it's like, I missed it all. I missed just enjoying every day. I missed just savoring the day. For me, it was all about the future, the goal, the job, the life. And this was me at 26, right? Here I was having my quarter life crisis. And then finally this video helped me realize, just enjoy your life. Just enjoy the day. Forget the job to make the money, to get the house. Forget all of that. Just enjoy the day. Just enjoy the moment. And that's where I kind of started my lifestyle. I thought I would work a 9 to 5 job 5 days a week. I realized I can't do that. That's not the life I want. I don't need the money. I don't need a house. I don't need the things, the materialistic things. All I need is just, for me, everyone will be different. For me, I'm happy creating. I'm happy spending my days writing and creating. And I don't need huge amounts of money to be able to write and create. I don't even need a house to write and create. I don't even need like my own house. I don't need the best car. I don't need anything. So it changed my whole approach. And so since I don't need that extra money, I don't work 2 jobs or 3 jobs. I don't work, when I did have a permanent job, I didn't work 5 days a week. I worked 3 days a week. And if asked, would you like to work 5 days? I would have said no, because I didn't need the money to do what I wanted to do to enjoy my life. And so that kind of just changed everything. Like literally, I thought I would work a 9-to-5 job until I was 70. And then my whole lifestyle changed to now the point I am self-employed, to the point where I do what I love for a living. And I know that is a very privileged thing, and I'm very, very thankful. And, you know, pros and cons to everything, but this is what I choose. This is my choice, to give up some things to live a life I can appreciate here and now in the moment, rather than chase this goal and go here and work 9 to 5 so you can get this money to do this thing. It's like, no. I'm already doing what I want to do right now every single day. And I don't need anything else. I have everything I need. And yes, I sacrifice some things, but this is my choice. This is my current choice. Anyway, so all to say, I understand what Lindsay was talking about. I got disillusioned by life. I went down a path, and then I came back to my life with a new perspective and a new way of living, where I find meaning through this. And I thank Alan Watts and that philosophical video, Music and Life, that really, really helped me. I try to sing and dance to the music instead of rush to the end of the song now. I try to enjoy each moment instead of an end goal. And I've forgotten that. Like, this is something that I'm coming back to this year. Just the small life. I just want to live the simple, small life, enjoying everyday moments. I have everything I need, and just be content with that. Now, the next, I'm going to loop this video because I've got a whole other thing to share here. The second thought is, it's like literally I could have done this on 2 different pages, but it's kind of connected. It's about how to live, and for me, it's about living a creative life. That's the choice I've made. I'm choosing to live the creative life instead of the 9-to-5 job, money-seeking life. Anyway, so I've had a whole journey with that. Like I said, like I've had struggles with that, but what I've come to decide this year is, just enjoy the everyday moments, the small, simple life. I have everything I need. Okay, and then the next one, I'm going to write that down. I've got to write this down somewhere else. I love that. I'm going to write that down right now. Okay, maybe not now because I'm right in the middle of a video, but anyway, right in the middle of a voiceover. But note yourself, after this ends, I will write that down. So, revisionist history is the next podcast that I was listening to, and it was an interview with Rick Rubin about his book on creativity and living a creative life. And so that's right up my alley. I got a lot out of this interview, actually. So, but there's a couple thoughts. There's one main thing, but a couple thoughts, or a few thoughts I'll share. The first one is that art benefits from belief, and this idea that you don't have to necessarily be religious or anything, but everyone can benefit from belief in something, in some sort of, he calls it like spirituality or mystical thing, but just this idea that if you believe that your art and what you create is there for a reason and means something, and that life is giving you inspiration to create something that will help in the world, then having that belief is important. If you just are creating and you're thinking, oh, it's meaningless, no one cares, this is pointless, creating this, the art will suffer. But if you believe that your art is coming from, like, you know, a higher place, or from inspiration, from something greater than yourself, whatever you think that is for you, and if you're creating from a place of meaning and purpose, then your art is going to, first of all, your process is going to be a lot easier because you are like creating with meaning and purpose. You can, if you're creating from a place of meaninglessness, thinking your art doesn't have any purpose, then you're probably going to be discouraged and have no confidence in what you create. But if you're thinking, yes, no, I've got meaning and purpose in this, then your art's going to benefit from that. So find your belief, find your purpose and meaning, and even he was just talking about, even belief is key. Like all the great things that have been invented or created have come from people pushing the limits of what can be, what's possible. All the people who think it's impossible, they're not going to be the ones creating the stuff. They won't even try. It's the people who believe that something is possible, who believe in their ability to create something, who believe that what they're doing is worth something. They're the ones who are going to create something worthwhile. So belief is really, really important. I love that. There's this other idea of so many things. I'll try and get them out. One of them is like there's no dearth of ideas and inspiration, and so therefore there's no competition. Like the ideas are always going to be there, inspiration is always going to be there, and even if we do have the same idea, and even if we are inspired by the same thing and write about the same thing, for example with a book, your book will be different to my book because you're you and I'm me, and it will be written differently from our own perspective, our own experiences. So even if it's the exact same topic, we're inspired by the exact same thing, and we might even have this exact same purpose in creating it, our books will still be different because you're you and I'm me. And it's about letting that out, letting us out in what we create. And I love that idea that, you know, you don't have to, everyone's like, I need an original idea, I need to be unique, or I need this to be the most amazing thing, or I need to hide my idea so no one else steals it. It's like, no. Whatever you create is going to be unique anyway because it's coming from you. But it requires you to show up. It requires you to be you when you create. And that can take some work to get to that place, right? But when you understand that, it's freeing, it's liberating, and that there's no competition. Yeah, I love that idea too, because everyone, what they're going to create comes from themselves and inside of them, and it's all going to be different. So I love that. Okay, but now I want to get to the key point here. Oh, and it's called, going back to that, it's called like an abundance mentality. If you come from a scarcity mentality, then you're going to hide things and hoard things and compete with other people. But there's an abundance of ideas, there's an abundance of inspiration. So go forth and create. But my favorite insight from this podcast episode was when he was talking about how he was choosing a logo for his podcast, other podcasts. He's got his own one. And they did a computer drawn one, like the computer designed one, and then they did the same logo, but a person drew it, a person hand drew it, and they chose the hand drawn one that the person did over the computer one because they wanted to choose the less perfect option and choose the one with more personality. That quote just resonates with me so much, and as a perfectionist, I need this because I know it in my life too. With my journals, the well put together pages, when I rewrite my notes, they lose something. They feel a bit fake. They feel a bit uninviting. I guess that's the thing. When it's just my messy notes, and I've noticed this right now even. I have one journal for scrappy notes and I have another journal where I rewrite them in a nice way. And I look at it and it's like, wow, the perfect journal, it looks really perfect. But I'm not invited into it. I don't get any joy from reading that journal. I get joy from my messy, scrappy notes because that's real and raw and it's vibrant and it's dynamic and it captures me. My perfect one, I'm not in it. Like the content, I'm in the content of what I've written, but the way I've written it, it's just lifeless. It's not me. It's this robotic thing. And I have to keep learning that because this is me today. I still do that. I rewrite notes. It's like I write for the express purpose of making them look perfect. And I have to get this out of my head. I really need to get this out of my head. Just stick with the real, raw, messy stuff. Stick with it because that's where the life is. That's where the personality is. And that's the real you. And this is what Malcolm was saying is people want the creator. They don't want perfection. They want the creator. He was saying when he reads books, he loves the books where he gets to see he feels like he knows the person when he's reading their words on the page. It feels like he's seeing their mind, like he's seeing inside their mind, and it feels like he knows the person. That only comes when you put yourself on the page as you are, not perfect, not the perfect version of yourself. That person doesn't exist. Put the real you on the page, and that's when it comes to life. That's when the person feels like, oh, I know this person. This is a real person. I'm connecting with this person. And so as I'm writing my book this year, this is really timely and perfect, wonderful for me to hear right now, because I'm really getting stuck. I'm trying to present this perfect, not perfect, but edited self, because I'm not perfect, and I know that. And in the book, it's going to be my, flawed self. But yet I'm trying to present my flawed self in a perfect way, if that makes sense. I'm trying to present the flaws in a robotic way, in an aesthetically pleasing way. It's like, no, I need to present the real raw stuff in a real and raw way. That's how I need to do this. And I'm kind of having this mind shift with how I'm approaching this book. So I don't know what that's going to mean, what it's going to look like, but this is the start of me just like, okay, just get the real raw stuff down as you are in that creative way, as you. Anyway, I hope this makes sense. And just two really cool things that I connected with that made me think, and this is what I hope to do going forward on my channel, is share more, just whatever's speaking to me, share those thoughts. And I hope you enjoy them. And that's what I'm hoping to do with this journal, is just put anything in the journal, anything I want at any time. It could be a story from last year, it could be a story from when I was a kid, it could be a thought from last year, it could be a thought for today, and just capture all of these things that I'm thinking about and mulling over in the present moment. That's also what this bookmaking course is teaching me, is just be in the moment and capture the moment now. So I'm practicing, I guess, with this journal, just putting it down and not worrying about having the perfect journal for it. Just put it in, just get it down into place. And that's what I'm doing here. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a different video, but this is my heart. This is the direction I'm hoping to go with my channel. And I hope you enjoy it. And if anything in this resonated with you and you want to share some of your story, feel free to share that in the chat or email me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Special thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in January. If you would like to become a patron in February, and the link is down below, and that is where you get access to extra videos, all my printables, all my digital kits in my Etsy. There are post tiers, mail tiers, and journal tiers as well. There is a Marco Polo tier and just lots of fun stuff over there. There is also a link to all of my available courses down below in the description box. You can join those anytime for all of my Patreon and courses. They're monthly subscriptions that work just like Netflix or Spotify, and you're charged on the date that you sign up, and you can cancel anytime.